Another showdown over the president's border wall project and another setback for his order targeting sanctuary cities.
That's where I feel like I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop.
But that's why we're here, right? Because when that shoe drops.
Bringing care to patients, the unique home-based program aiming to keep seniors out of the hospital. Are you ready for some Kungfu fighting? We'll introduce you to guys behind a unique movie event that will keep you guessing until the very last minute. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. New developments tonight on President Trump's executive order targeting so-called sanctuary cities. A federal judge blocked it today. This comes just days after protesters rallied at the San Ysidro port of entry, all aimed to coincide with a border visit by Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly. The president's order would have withheld funding from communities that limit cooperation with U.S. immigration authorities. San Francisco and Santa Clara County filed a lawsuit. They argued the order threatened billions of dollars in federal funding for each of them. U.S. District Judge William Orrick said the president has no authority to attach new conditions to federal spending. His decision will stay in place while the lawsuit works its way through court. California construction companies may face serious financial repercussions if they accept contracts to help President Trump build his proposed wall on the Mexican border. A bill advanced through a Senate committee hearing this morning to block the state from awarding construction contracts to any company helping to build the border wall.
I think we're at a moment where we need to, reevaluate who we are as a society, who we are as Americans, and send a strong message that, we're not going to further divide ourselves and wall ourselves off from the rest of the world.
Critics argue the legislation will kill jobs in California and give out-of-state construction companies an unfair advantage. The bill now goes to the Appropriations Committee for further evaluation. A report released today by the Pew Research Center shows the number of immigrants in the country illegally fell to 11 million in 2015. That's down from about 11.3 million 6 years ago. The shift was driven by a decrease in the number of Mexicans in the U.S. without legal status. At the same time, the numbers of Asian and Central American immigrants in the country illegally increased. The San Diego Unified School Board will vote tonight on whether to send some 200 additional pink slips to staff. That would bring the number of potential layoffs to about 1,700. KPBS education reporter Megan Burks is at district headquarters and joins us now. Megan?
That's right. The meeting is getting underway now, but earlier there were a lot of people holding signs and protesting the proposed cuts. Among them, library technicians. The proposal on the table today would cut every single library technician at the middle and high school level. Now, they're often the only ones staffing their libraries, and earlier in March, about half of library workers at the elementary school level received pink slips, and those remaining could see their hours cut to as little as 2 hours a week. So the cuts on the table today looking like they could really decimate the library programs at San Diego Unified Schools. I spoke with a librarian at Pershing Middle School earlier, and she said that millions of dollars of district assets are on the line and much more. Let's hear from her.
Around the district, a lot of our kids don't have internet access. A lot of them have the only way that they can do research, do their homework, print a paper is when they are at school or at the public library, and they don't have any chance to do that. They don't have a smartphone. They can't just ask Siri.
Now, if the district does go ahead and agree, if the school board rather goes ahead and agrees to send these pink slips, it won't necessarily lead to a layoff. The district is still in active negotiations with their employee unions. And one of the sticking points right now is that they want to cut everybody's work year by 14 days. Now, the school union that represents library technicians said that they didn't want to do that. And so the district turned around and said, we've got to at least send out these pink slips and give notice that these positions could be cut. But again, that could change as negotiations go on, as the state budget crystallizes, and as the district goes ahead and sees how many people may be taking an early retirement program. We'll hear more about that tonight. Reporting live in University Heights, Megan Burks, KPBS News.
Thanks, Megan. A new report says University of California administrators hid $175 million in a secret reserve fund while raising tuition and asking for more state funding. The report from the state auditor says the office of UC President Janet Napolitano spent the hidden money with little or no oversight. Napolitano denies the audit's claim. An Assembly Committee on Education Finance will be holding hearings on the report next week. Downtown business leaders and residents held a press conference today urging San Diego's mayor not to turn the old downtown library into a homeless shelter. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen has more.
There's one obvious reason why downtown residents don't want a homeless shelter in the old library. The property is prime real estate, and many would rather see new housing or office space. The library has been vacant since 2013. Several ideas have been floated for the space, including offices to promote San Diego's innovation economy. But the idea of turning it into a shelter is now back on the table. Neighbors say renovating the building would be too costly, and those dollars should be spent on permanent housing, which is more effective at ending homelessness.
We've seen temporary shelters go up all over downtown, and they're not really the answer. They may be part of a solution temporarily, but it's not the answer.
Mayor Kevin Faulconer wants to open up some 200 temporary shelter beds in downtown to get more people off the streets. He hasn't yet settled on where those beds will go. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
People at UCSD will be donning denim tomorrow. To raise awareness about sexual violence, organizers are pushing for San Diego to clear its rape kit backlog. City officials confirm there are nearly 2,900 untested rape kits. Police officials say it's not always helpful to test every kit, since the evidence developed in the case may make the results irrelevant. But activists say the kits could provide a DNA match that may benefit another investigation. Denim Day started 18 years ago after an Italian court overturned a rape conviction because the accuser was wearing tight jeans. Advocates of a plan to return wetlands to a northern section of Mission Bay have narrowed their list of possible plans to 3. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson joins us from Mission Bay with more. Eric?
Ebony, San Diego Audubon Society is looking to reclaim a large swath of land on the northern edge of Mission Bay and turn it back into natural habitat. It would change areas like this, De Anza Cove, and possibly even the trailer park, and turn it back into natural habitat. They are definitely going to be changing the land at Campland by the Bay. That's going to be closing next year, and wetlands will go back in there. And they're actually considering 3 different plans for this part of the bay. One calls for a lot, the maximum amount of natural habitat to be restored. One calls for a minimum amount, and there's a plan in between. And they're looking for some public input on those plans tonight. Environmentalists say that what they do this year could have a lasting impact.
What's really important to consider is that these are 50-year leases that are about to expire. This is our first chance in half a century to restore wetlands here, and it's our last chance before some of the worst impacts of climate change. So really, the importance of doing it now is probably the most important thing to take away from this. Our 3 alternatives, the one with the largest footprint is the one that is most sustainable to climate change, provides the most water quality improvements, and provides the best habitat for wildlife. We know that these ecosystems are going to be impacted by sea level rise. They already are. And what we can do now, and what we have the chance to do now, is to set them up for success in the future.
They're meeting tonight at Mission Bay High School, asking the public to come in to look at the 3 plans and offer their thoughts. They'll deliver those plans to the city in September. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
Thanks, Eric. Driverless cars could be on local roads as early as November. In the meantime, DMV officials are fine-tuning new regulations for testing and operating these vehicles in California. They heard public comment today on the use and testing of driverless cars. One of the proposed regulations would eliminate the current requirement that an actual driver be in the car.
20 years ago, I don't know if we thought that this day was possible, or we're talking about this as a real possibility. So I think manufacturers are ready to get there. We see a lot of self-driving features in our cars nowadays with lane keep and self-park. So really this is that next big step in letting that car have a bigger role.
The DMV has so far approved more than 200 cars for companies including Google and Ford for testing on state roads. A San Diego man who was dying from a multi-drug resistant infection has been saved through the therapeutic use of viruses. KPBS health reporter Kenny Goldberg says the story begins in Egypt.
Tom Patterson and his wife Stephanie Strathdy were on a vacation in Egypt in late 2015. One day, Patterson became violently ill. He was treated at a local clinic for an inflamed pancreas. Patterson got sicker. He was medevaced to Germany, where doctors discovered that Patterson was infected with a multi-drug resistant pathogen. He was airlifted to UC San Diego's Thornton Hospital. Strathdy says her husband went into septic shock and fell into a coma.
By then, I just realized that all of the antibiotic bags that were hanging on his IV pole were just there to make us feel better, and that there was nothing else that they could do.
But Strathdy, an infectious disease epidemiologist, started to research alternative treatments. She discovered phage therapy. Phages are viruses that can destroy bacteria. They were used therapeutically before the age of antibiotics. Strathdy sent out inquiries to the phage research community. Eventually, 3 different research teams found suitable phages for Patterson's infection. The FDA gave its okay, and on March 15, 2016, a cocktail of phages was pumped into Patterson's body. 3 days later, he woke up. He's now back to work at UCSD. Patterson says he's very fortunate.
And I am a case of one, so it's unclear. In the future, we need more research to determine, will this work in all cases?
Patterson hopes his miraculous recovery will help others who become infected with multi-drug resistant bacteria.
This is an opportunity for science to really leap forward and potentially, as I say, save millions of lives.
Kenny Goldberg, KPBS News.
For teenagers in treatment for addiction, returning to school means resisting offers to get high with old friends. Researchers say these kids do better at special recovery schools that use peer pressure to support sobriety. Associated Press reporter Carla Johnson has a story.
Reading, writing, and arithmetic. Some schools are adding one more R, recovery.
Started with pills, especially like Vicodin.
Smoking marijuana when I was 13.
Using opiates and cocaine on a regular basis.
Each year, more than 300,000 U.S. teenagers get treatment for addiction.
The more I do for others.
The students at Hope Academy in Indianapolis have abused drugs and alcohol, even heroin. Most have been through rehab. Instead of returning to old habits at their former high schools, they came here, like Ian Lewis.
I think that teenagers think that, oh, we have so much life ahead of us, we don't have to stop using right now.
The school offers traditional classes to students committed to staying clean and sober.
I am with people all day that are similar to me, and then we're all going through different things, but we can all provide insight with other people when we're here to hold each other accountable.
Intrinsic is the there are only about 3 dozen recovery schools in the U.S., but interest is growing because of the deadly opioid epidemic.
Let's put recovery supports around however old, 13-year-olds all the way to however old you are. I think the young people are getting the attention right now because it's horrible to see young people die. Horrible.
At Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Andy Finch conducts research on recovery schools.
We're finding some very promising findings so far in our study. We're finding that students are significantly less likely to relapse in recovery high schools and also have significantly fewer days used of marijuana and other drugs.
17-year-old Aiden Thompson did relapse over winter break, but credits the school for getting back on track.
This school really does help, though. It really does. I don't even want to think about where I would be without it.
Students at Hope Academy celebrate their sobriety milestones.
And even if there's just a tiny bit of improvement, that can be exponential because every person who's not using for just a day, that's a miracle.
Life-changing lessons these students learn every day. Carla Johnson, Associated Press, Indianapolis.
A cloudy night for San Diego, followed by sunshine. Erin Calandra has tonight's forecast.
Well, it's a bit cooler today than it has been the last couple of days. Well, that's because we have an onshore flow, which means cool air coming in off the coast, cooling things down a bit, but it's actually back to where we really should be this time of year, which is in the 60s. Looking at our radar, well, we have only just a few clouds passing through the county. Tonight, 60 degrees for our low, with a few clouds passing through the area. And that's how it looks across the region. Borrego Springs, 58 degrees, Mount Laguna, 42, Alpine, 48, Ramona, 46, Poway, 52, and Oceanside, 51 degrees with just a few low clouds. And we can even see those clouds in the morning when we wake up, some low clouds, which could cause some visibility issues in areas. The weekend, though, is going to be gorgeous. We have a high pressure system right now over the ocean. It's moving inland, which means it's going to change our flow. We're going to have an offshore flow, which means it's going to be warmer, lots of sunshine, less wind, and it's going to be just gorgeous to maybe get out to the beach this weekend if you can. We're going to see that change in our temperatures here in the 5-day. Thursday, a bit cloudy, 75. Friday, nicer, 77. And then look at Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures in the 80s, 83 degrees and warm. Sunday, lots of sunshine, 84 degrees for the high temperature. Inland, it's always a bit warmer inland, 80 degrees with low clouds. Friday, mostly sunny conditions, 81. And then it warms up Saturday, 88 degrees with plenty of sunshine. And on Sunday, we're even hitting the 90s. So a very warm, pleasant weekend for you ahead. In the mountains, nice and cool, 68 degrees Thursday, Friday 65. It actually cools down a bit Saturday to 62, but it rebounds by Sunday to 68 degrees with plenty of sunshine. So a nice time maybe to be outside out in the mountains. In the deserts, make sure you're drinking your water, sunblock, sunglasses, because it's going to be a nice hot and sunny couple of days. 94 on Thursday with sunshine, 90 on Friday. And look at your Saturday, a nice little break, 87 degrees for your high temperature, lots of sunshine. And by Sunday, we rebound right back to the 90s, 91 degrees for your high. For KPBS News, I'm Erin Calandra.
There comes a time in an elderly person's life when intense medical treatment could do more harm than good. That's the philosophy behind a special program run by Sharp Healthcare. KPBS health reporter Kenny Goldberg says it teaches people how to manage their conditions and stay out of the hospital.
The Transitions program is all about house calls.
Okay, now this was our wedding picture here. And that was on September 9 of 1950.
Today, Transitions staff are visiting Louis and Lois Alfeld in their San Carlos townhouse. Louis has dementia. His wife Lois takes care of him. Nurse Wyatt Knapp wants to see how well Louis is tracking things.
Do you know where we are today?
Yeah, right here.
Perfect. I like that answer. That is a perfectly acceptable answer.
Knapp talks with Lois about dementia and what she can expect.
With dementia, we wax and wane, right? So we have good days, we have bad days. But overall, as long as he's staying stable, and I think he has probably more good days than bad days in his case.
Yes.
Lois says she has noticed some changes.
His way of trying to explain to me what he needs, what he wants, is becoming, I think, more difficult.
And that can cause for him more anxiety and more frustration. Right?
Oh, yes.
So as those communication things become more difficult, that's when patients often start displaying more signs of anxiousness or even agitation.
Knapp goes on to say that there will come a point when Lewis's decline will happen more rapidly.
That's where I feel like I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop.
But that's why we're here, right? Because when that shoe drops, we're your safety net.
That's why I'm so glad I've got you in the background, if not right here, at least in the background.
The Transitions program was launched in 2007.
Once they start referring patients to this particular program, they get it.
Dr. Daniel Hofer came up with the idea after years of observing a reoccurring problem with many of his elderly patients. Those who had heart failure, dementia, and other serious health issues would reach a point when they'd frequently go in and out of the hospital.
There's at least 20 hospital side effects.
Hospital care can be disruptive, expensive, and dangerous. Studies show about 1/3 of elderly patients leave the hospital in worse shape than when they arrived.
They said, well, let's create a proactive program.
Hofer thought there has to be a better way.
And in the proactive program, you say, I know where you are in the natural progression of your illness. And you're at the point where you're going to start to use the hospital as a tool to manage exacerbations of a predictable medical condition. We've eliminated that.
Because the changes that you're going to see in your husband or your loved one, they're going to occur.
Transitions provides proactive care and patient education, all in a patient's home.
This is one of the fundamental constructs of our program. Stop bringing patients to care and start bringing care to patients.
Talk about Advanced Healthcare Directive.
Sharp Hospice Care Vice President Susie Johnson helped Hofer start Transitions.
People live a long time with chronic illness, a long time.
She says the program addresses a long-neglected group, people who are in the pre-hospice phase of life.
We have not really been well prepared to think about how we care for the aging over a period of time. This program helps manage people over a period of time.
Johnson and Hofer recently had a study on transitions published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society. It showed on average, transitions saved just under $20,000 per patient at the end of life, compared to patients who went the hospitalization route.
Sometimes he shocks me with the knowledge that he does have.
Lois Alfeld knows there will come a day when she can no longer take care of her husband at home. Nonetheless, she tries to stay positive and even gets a few laughs in here and there. Lois says her husband can no longer recognize their children.
I tell him that our oldest son is named after him, but he's not a junior. He's Louis Alfeld.
He asks what their names are.
He will say, oh, that's the same as mine. And he's even asked me, too, who's his daddy?
A study in the American Journal of Public Health puts things in perspective. It estimates in 2011, $280 billion was spent on people in their last year of life.
We always knew we had to work together.
Kenny Goldberg, KPBS News.
Once upon a time, TV stations ran Kungfu movies on weekend mornings. Old school chop-socky films where every move was punctuated by sound effects. PACART pays tribute to those films with Mystery Kung Fu Theater at its spring showcase. It's a mystery because they're not saying what's playing. KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando is in the projection booth to explain what makes this a unique event.
I'm in the projection booth at Ultrastar Mission Valley Theaters, and I'm here with PACART's artistic director, Brian Hu. We are in Spring Showcase, and tonight is the ever-exciting Mystery Kung Fu Theater. Tell me what that's all about.
Yeah, this is where we invite audiences to come see a martial art film. We don't tell them what it is. Sometimes I don't even know what it is until right before. And we just play an old school martial arts film. And it's inspired by those old TV programs in the morning on a weekend where you just tune it on and you know it's going to be gory and great. But what we wanted to do was combine that experience with a theatrical experience where you can watch these films, enjoy them with a bunch of other crazy kung fu nuts.
And there's something that makes tonight's screening unique. Tell me what that is.
So several years ago, we procured some 16mm prints. I'm not going to say how we got them. but amongst them included some martial art films. And we thought, well, what better way to showcase them than to include them as part of our Mystery Kung Fu theater series. And I mean, these are films that if we didn't play them, they would never be seen by an audience here in the United States.
We're in a digital age of projection, so what's it like trying to show 16 millimeter at a film festival?
Normally I would say it's impossible, but we have access to the guru of celluloid here in San Diego, Mr. John Miller.
All right, we have John Miller here to tell us, so what did you have to do to be able to project 16 millimeter here?
Okay, well, I already had the projector in the stand, but because the film was on multiple reels, I needed a way to show the film continuously, so it wouldn't have to stop every 45 minutes to change reels. So I built this long play unit. Allows me to splice the film up in one reel, then I can run it continuously for the entire showing. So, we had its debut last year, got it going, worked like a champ. Problem was that the picture was in the wrong aspect ratio. Everybody was looking scrunched. So I had to borrow an analog adapter from this idle 35 millimeter projector here and mount it on the projector so that I could show the film in the proper proportions, widescreen for everyone to enjoy.
All right, Mystery Kung Fu Theater is tonight at 9:40. I'm Beth Accomando, KPBS Arts and Culture reporter. And John, before we leave, can we see some of the film running through this rig?
Sure thing.
You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.